Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to game number 2, which is of course Epic Replay number 2 from GameCom Plantronics at their Europe event. And this is HD. I'm bringing you guys game number 2 here live commentated. And on the left hand side of the map is Dual Sight from MLG. It is NVM Crazy Ivan, who is going to be the dark green Protoss player at the left. And at the right we do have the pink Zerg. He is Radboud. He's the rattiest Radboud of all time. Alright, so he's going to be the pink Zerg on the right hand side of the map. And this is HD Fishkeeper bringing you guys this commentary. If you guys didn't tune into the first Epic Replay, I talked a little bit about Wally and my beautiful aquarium. I think I will make a video of my aquarium at some point in the near future and put it up on YouTube for all of you guys who may be interested or not interested. You guys can always down thumbs the video if you want to. So yeah, this is going to be game number 2, the Epic Replay number 2 that GameCom Plantronics sent out to me. And we'll see what happens here. It's going to be another Protoss versus Zerg, it looks like. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool with me. I actually really like this map as a Zerg because it's kind of like Xel'Naga Caverns. If you look at the natural, it's huge. Look at how many openings there are leading into the nat. You've got one here and one here, kind of like Xel'Naga Caverns. Then you've got one more right here too, just to add insult to injury. So it's a pretty nasty map if you're against Zerg, and I definitely would give the nod to Radboud if I were to put money on this match, but we'll just have to wait and see. As we've already had one Protoss victory today, we'll have to see if Radboud can turn it around or not. And here comes that scouting probe making its way past the Scaptipede, and I don't know what he's talking about here. Last game, I pulled 2 less probes. Oh, so I do have to mention to you guys that these replays were played in sets, but GameCom Plantronics only sent me the best one from each set, just to spare you guys the heartache, I guess, of watching terrible games, or perhaps because they didn't want me casting too much and losing my voice. I'm not quite sure why. But it does look like this is going to be 1 game per set. And I'm not too sure why he's talking about. I guess he pulled 2 probes to scout in the first game. Not too sure what's going on. And if you could have pulled out another Zalot, it could... I love watching players, and myself included, I love it when players are trying to chat while they're like APM spamming. Let's just take a look at the APM spam as it stands right now. So about 100. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch people try to chat because they're like racing to put out their sentence and their comments and not miss the timings on their drone or their overlord or their pylon or anything like that. So it's really fun to watch. And chat really does usually die down in StarCraft 2 after the first minute or so. It's unless of course it's somebody trying to taunt their opponent and just BM them straight up Combat X or Easy Deasy style. Yeah, it looks like getting back to this game, Radboud is throwing down a Spine Crawler. He did go for a very fast hatchery at the natural, no surprise there. And he's got gas mining right now along with a spawning pool and a Spine Crawler. The Spine Crawler already commented on at the front of the natural. Meanwhile, Crazy Ivan has not expanded quite as fast as the Zerg. Really no surprise there. You don't really want to fast expand. Like a Forge fast expand on this map is very hard to pull off just because of the open space. So a lot of times you will see Protoss players go for the 3-gate expand rather than the Forge fast expand. And it looks like that is what Crazy Ivan is going for right now. In fact, whoa! Twilight Council. Huh. That's interesting. So he's going for a fast Twilight Council on the 2nd gate. I wonder what he's going to go for. It could be Dark Templar, or it could be Blink Stalkers. Judging from the position of this proxy pylon, I would be more inclined to believe that we're going to be seeing some Doc assassination type playstyle here. That's a very hidden pylon. Look at how sneaky that is. I mean, you've got to... Not only do you have to look at the most oblique location possible on Dual Sight, but you have to go through the bushes as well. So this pylon is pretty much not going to be scouted. There is no Overlord inbound trajectory to scout that out. And is there a Dark Shrine coming up? What is behind door number 1? It is... nothing quite yet. He's just got a Twilight Council, and he is making a Stalker, so I would be inclined now to think... Nope, there it is. I was going to say maybe Blink Stalkers, but no, he's going to go for the Dark Shrine, and he's tucking it behind his main. However, just a few clicks to the north, we do have an Overlord. It could see the Dark Shrine. We'll have to see if Radboud is going to scout it out or not. I mean, that could just be the game. You don't really expect DTs this quickly against Protoss. It's pretty much cheese. So, is Radbound gonna sniff out the cheese or not? He's so close to finding the Dark Shrine, and I actually talked about this quite a lot. The delayed 7-minute scout is so important. You gotta do it, especially if you're Zerg, man. You got Overlord blimps flying around. Just send it in. Send it in! And he would see the Dark Shrine. And look at this, Crazy Ivan even expanding. So he's going for the DT expand. That was quite popular a couple of months ago, and it's still popular today. Essentially, what it is you Dark Templar into expansion, and you try to do as much damage as possible. And usually, it will catch Zergs off guard. And I don't know why Radbound has 5 drones on gas right there. That is a mistake. 6 drones on gas. Wow. You can actually click the extractor, and you can see current harvesters. So, there are 6 drones on that gas. That is a mistake by Radbound. He could be getting a lot more mineral intake than he is right now. And the Dark Templars have warped in. They are making their way up from the north. And there is no detection at all. There's no layer even. There's no layer. There's just an Evo chamber. But he's got to get Spore Crawlers up right now. Otherwise, he's just going to lose this game. I don't know how he's going to win. This could be the quickest epic replay from GameCom Plantronics yet, and the DTs are splitting up. Beautiful. One to the nat and one to the main. Love it. So now it's going to force extra crawlers at every location, and no one detector unit can detect both. As the DT now goes after the Spore Crawler, that is pretty smart, and that is going to allow him to get more drone kills. But of course, Radbound gets another crawler down. DTs here need to make up their mind as to what they want to kill off. This DT has made up his mind. He wants to be a drone killer when he grows up. He told his parents that. He told me that personally. And he is going now for the drones, mining the gas as well. So he's trying to help out Radbound, who had 6 drones on the gas. He's trying to thin that out for him. And it looks like the Spore Crawler at the main will go up. Will the CT be able to kill the Spore Crawler in time before the roaches come back? This could be critical. Oh my God! It was 1 slash away, and that very well could have been game. That 1 single slash could have been the end of the game, but it was not. Didn't turn out that way. Not sure why Crazy Ivan isn't attacking over here at the net. That's why. There is a Spore Crawler up from Radbound. So Radbound's been doing a pretty decent job of keeping his base alive. How many drones has he lost this game? 11 so far. But he has been doing a somewhat decent job now. I don't know what he's thinking about with these roaches. Just waltzing out there and letting these ETs go to town. That's a mistake right there from Radbound. And now that's a mistake by Crazy Ivan, who loses 2 DTs. Gets just inside the range of that Spore Crawler. And loses a couple of Dark Templar. God, I love watching semi-pro games, and I'll call them semi-pro because obviously it's not pro, but I don't feel like they're noobs either. I definitely feel like they are semi-pro because you see high level of play that 99% of StarCraft 2 players cannot emulate, but you also catch these mistakes. That is kind of fun to watch because it teaches you so much about the game, and we learn a couple of things. Always send in the Overlord Scout at 7 minutes, and don't be so careless with your DTs. Be decisive with them. But nevertheless, I think Crazy Ivan has pulled this build off quite beautifully. The Dark Templar expand. And he has done enough damage to get himself in the game against the fast expanding Zerg, and he's been able to secure the natural. So I absolutely think that he is in this game right now, and he's in it to win it. If anything, he is ahead right now, as Radbound has got these roaches on the field, but really hasn't been able to do much with them at all. Now, he could try to slam into the front of the natural. I don't know if that's the wisest decision. There's an Immortal there, and Immortals, as we all know, slay roaches day and night. Doesn't even matter, because they put their stunner glasses on. And I'm pretty sure that the roaches, yeah, they're going to pull away. So Radbound takes off, doesn't want to deal with the Immortal, and the DT here coming in from the left side once again. He is going in for the drones, and Crazy Ivan is going to get 1 drone kill, maybe a second one, as he's trying to find an opening to attack here, and he's going to actually sneak it behind the Queen into this little crevice, and he is just outside the range of the Spore Crawler, so he may actually be able to pick off a Queen for free here, unless the Queen pulls that DT into the range of the Crawler, and it will do that. So there's another example of slightly careless Dark Templar usage, but not that big of a loss at this point in the game, because the Protoss is on 2 bases. And speaking of 2 bases, Crazy Ivan right here researching the Forge +1 weapons. That is the one flaw of going for the Dark Templar expand, if you ask me. It really delays your tech, similar to opening up with the quick Stargate, like what we saw in the first game, because Of course, you have to invest in all that gas into DTs and Twilight Council and Dark Shrine, so it really does kind of limit your tech, and it kind of pigeonholes you into going Charge Out Archon because you've already got the Twilight Council down, because you know, you went that tech tree route. It's very tough to switch into robotics and get Colossus out, although he has a robotics down right now, so we'll have to see which way it goes. And here comes Crazy Ivan bringing the DT back over to the left. He has been continually warping in DTs at this pylon, which has pretty much remained hidden to Radbound this entire game. And will it pick off a hatchery or not? In fact, the better question is, why hasn't Radbound made an Overseer yet? There we are, finally. An Overseer is coming, so he finally gets an Overseer out and hopefully saves his hatchery. I don't know if he will, guys. That's getting pretty close. 140, 100, 80, 50. Oh no! Radbound cancels it. I actually think Radbound would have been able to kill off that DT in time. I really think that he had a chance right there to keep the hatchery alive. And really, if you think about it, that hatchery was more than halfway done finishing, so canceling it there wasn't really the best idea. I would have just taken the 300 dump and taken a gamble. There's, you know, a half chance it would have stayed alive and a half chance it would have died. But canceling it anyways is almost essentially letting it die in the first place. Of course, you don't get your money back, but I definitely feel like he should have just taken the gamble right there. It was pretty close. But that DT certainly paid off for itself, forcing the hatchery to get canceled. And now it looks like Crazy Ivan anticipating possibly Mutalisks here, or some kind of air bombardment as he's warping in photon cannons, just trying to stay safe. He's also making a nexus over here at the bottom right hand corner of Dual Sight to get up to the third. Like his setup as well, he's even got a little sheep in there just to add a little bit of biological diversity, and quite a few gateways as well, so things are looking pretty solid. Cancels the changeling that was made inside his base. No way you're gold. Not quite sure what he's talking about right there, but Radbound is going to go ahead and establish the gold, and now he's finally found the position of that proxy pylon for the first time in this game, 17 minutes in, and surprisingly not sending any units over there to deal with that pylon. You know, #1 rule, if you see a pylon on the map, it doesn't take much to kill it off. Just send like 4 or 5 roaches and you can finish it. Finish it! But Radbound deciding to spare Ivan's pylon and show it a little bit of mercy, I guess, for whatever reason. And meanwhile, back at his main, he is on layer tech. He has Spire down, but he hasn't utilized it at all for Mutalisks or anything of the sort. Hasn't gotten an infestation pit down either. He's actually going for Roach Hydra, which is an old school build that a lot of people remember against Protoss. Roach Hydra was actually pretty much popularized by the old school StarCraft Zerg players, including Idra. But it's just not that effective against Protoss, I feel like. It's very hard to pull off, especially once you get Colossus out on the field, because Colossus just tear Hydras apart, no problemo. So Radbound will definitely want to get Corruptors to supplement this army, use that Spire that he built up. Right now he's just playing a little merry-go-round with that Dark Templar. He finally picks it off, but why not kill the source of the DTs? In fact, unbelievable, the DT killed off the hatchery. That is just insane. How do you let that happen? You see the pylon there, you let your hatchery die, you kill off the DT, but you don't kill off the pylon. That thing could just come back and bite him in the ass for the rest of this game. But I don't know, man. I guess Radbound is just too focused on getting that Roach Hydra army up and running, and now he's supplementing it with Corruptors for the first time today. And yes, he brings Roaches over to kill off that pylon, finally. That thing was actually getting really annoying for me as an omniscient observer. It felt like a thorn in the middle of my side. So he finally kills it off, and really ramping up the Roach production. So he's just going, guys, with straight up Roach Hydra Infester. And I don't know, guys, as long as Crazy Ivan can get 3 or 4 Colossus plus, I really don't think Roach Hydra Corruptor is going to be able to cut it, literally. So we'll have to see. Crazy Ivan now only working on 1 robotics. He is chrono boosting the Colossus out. Would love to see a secondary robotics come out just to double the production of Colossi. But for now it just has 1. And it looks like the Zerglair Radbound is going to double expand feeling that it's quite necessary to get up to 5 bases now because this game has been going on for quite some time. Can't blame him with that mindset, but that hatchery is very close to Protoss territory. In fact, all it takes is a pylon right here, and the Protoss can warp down to the low ground and then attack that hatchery quite easily. And now both players tacking up into their tier 3 as we've got a hive coming down for the Zerg player. He is researching +1 weapons for the air, but he really doesn't have that many corruptors. Let's take a look on the corruptor count. 4 corruptors. That is a mistake from Radbound. Radbound, if you're going to go Roach Hydra Corruptor, you need more than 4 corruptors. And right now what he needs to do is scout the Protoss army out and figure out just exactly how many Colossi he is dealing with so that he can tailor his corruptor numbers. And I always say per Colossus you need, you know, about 3 to 4 corruptors. So right now there's 2 Colossus out, so I would say you need about 7 to 8 corruptors minimum. More, I feel like, is always better. So I definitely feel like Radbound right now should be scouting. He should be figuring out what that corruptor count, or what that Colossus count is, because his corruptor squad right now isn't cutting it. But he is adding 4 more. Okay, so he's gonna have 8 in a couple of moments here, and be able to deal with the Colossus. He's also got a Roach back here as well, forcing the warp into 5 Zealots. The Zealots easily clean up that Roach threat. And now, finally, the Protoss player feels comfortable moving out. He has maxed out. Radbound has been maxed out forever. That is another mistake by Radbound. You do not sit back when you're maxed like this. That is terrible. And he could just lose to a straight up Protoss slaughtering here. The Protoss army is in a wonderful position. He is going to just stampede his way through with storms as well. He's got weather on his side, and that's it. I don't think the Zerg army can win. That's the problem with Zerg against Protoss. Don't sit back and let your Protoss army max out, or Protoss opponent max out. That was a mistake by Radbound. And now I feel like he is definitely going to lose his hatchery. He should have traded a long time ago, and should have gotten up to Hive way sooner. He should be on Broodlord tech by now. But just purely on Roaches, this is not going to work out at all. And Crazy Ivan's going to get the go-ahead to pick off this hatchery. And there it goes. Love the composition by Crazy Ivan. He's even mixing in DTs now for added measure. But I love the comp. He's got Storm, he's got Colossus, he's got a little bit of everything. And he's storming the Overlords now. Good lord. If he storms these Overlords and kills them off, then that's just going to add insult to injury. It's like rubbing salt in the wound. I don't see how a Zerg player can recover from a devastating loss like that. And it is now looking bleaker and bleaker for Radbound, as Crazy Ivan is just walking his way in. Now the drones might be called to fight. No, they might be called to retreat, and they will run away. Don't even want to deal with that army. So Crazy Ivan here pretty much getting a very easy walk game here, I feel like. And I'm not trying to insult Radbound or anything like that. I mean, I make the same mistake against Protoss all the time. But, you know, it's good to learn. It's good to learn from this. And it looks like Crazy Ivan does lose his Colossus, so Radbound at least kills off that Colossus that was wandering. Meanwhile, in the middle of the field, don't know what the heck is going on here. Reinforcements streaming in from the Protoss player, but the army is inside the main now, and the Hydra Den and the Spire have both gone down. So now only Roaches can be made from Radbound, and yeah, I don't see how he's going to win this game. That Protoss army is just slaying everything. Those 3 Immortals laugh in the face of Roaches, and everything is going down. Spurts of blood shooting up into the air, just spraying fine Zerg mist everywhere into the atmosphere. And Crazy Ivan has now killed off the Infestation Pit. The Roach Warren is going to go down momentarily. Protoss army is just wandering about, trying to pick off lone drones, Roaches, Hydras, whatever units that they can find. And the lair has now gone down, and Radbound is still surprisingly in this game. I mean, he's not left the game yet, and he has kind of gotten 2 bases up on the left-hand side of the map, but it's to no avail. I don't see how he's hoping at any way, possible, shape, or form to stay in this game at all. And I would expect a GG pretty soon here, guys. I don't think that the Zerg player can really win at this point, to be perfectly honest with you guys. The Spine Crawlers are up. I mean, as a commentator, I try to keep the games as close as possible when I'm talking about it, but this is just pretty much over. It's 181 supply to 40. The Infestors fighting for their life. Get that infested fungal growth out there. Yes. And go down and die. So there it is, Radbound. Wow, it wasn't a shock before now. So yeah, there it is. He finally, I guess it hits him in the face that he's lost this game, and there's a GG. And you're way too good for gold. So is Radbound gold? Well, Crazy Ivan definitely, I don't think, was gold. But I guess Radbound was. So that was epic replay number 2. I guess it was epic because it was an absolute slaying of the Zerg. But we'll see what Game 3 looks like, guys. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for more GameCom Plantronics content. And there will be one more replay highlighting this tournament, and then the Grand Finals broadcast will be live and will be uploaded to my YouTube channel shortly thereafter. The live portion will be this weekend. You guys can find more information at GameComPlantronics.com, GameCom.Plantronics.com/SE2EU. And that'll be pretty much it. We're going to go into Game 3, guys. Stay tuned. This is HD, signing out.